All right, yeah. So you have the, these lines like coming down, yeah, branching off. Was it called like a thought tree or something like that? Thought web. But really, it's just okay. Like think of it like brackets, like like a tournament. Like you have like the losers bracket and the winners bracket, but it has the person's name, and then it breaks out into the others. It's like that's what the quote unquote ruler is. It's just the box above the boxes under it that they branch off into. Like there's one main box, and then like say like two boxes that come under it. So that's what really the rulership is. And you can also think of it as like how you'd present like a monarchy or some deal like that, where you have the king, and then like the workers under it, and stuff like that. So in that sense, we got Mars being like the king, that the kind of the Aries and Scorpio, whatever, kind of follow under that, like they fall under that phylum. If you want to get scientific, like whatever, but so for everyone, they have a different aspect where they have this rulership that goes through their different trees like that, or their different like brackets, which would be them going around the like the natal chart wheel, which is a circle that has if you haven't seen one, it's a wheel that has different boxes, the different areas of life, starting from 1 to 12, going around like 12 divisions, and then it's like them divided evenly through the circle, and the planets like going around it, like how they circle around, in context of how we're viewing it from where we are, how they're going around us, or are going around the sun, but it looks like, because it's going in a circle and they're going past us, that it's going around you. And so that's what that is. And everyone has like that planet going around, like mingling with these different energies in the different areas of their life, and it goes in order. So as whatever your 12th house sign is, that's kind of your ability or your strength. And because you're focusing on it, you can detect it in others. You can detect their level, kind of, or like how far around the planet has traveled, which relates to a feeling or an experience you have internally. They can tell how much that is developed inside of you. How well you're using it, how high it's functioning, basically. Because, that's what they're focused on. That's what they worked on. So that's what they pick up. And that is the source of, like, when you talk about, like, someone being spiritually advanced, it's because, they've had the most experiences with that energy, which is that thing that you the different experiences you have inside of you, like your thoughts or your emotions, or your stubbing your toe, like pain, all those little things that you have going on in you, your nervous system and all that. Each one of the planets relate to that. So it's like if someone was really focused on, like they were a doctor that specifically focused on headaches, then they'd be really good at being able to tell if someone was having a headache or not. But it's like that, but it's with that energy, that experience that's going on in you. So, for instance, as a Taurus rising, I have Aries there, so as with Mars as the ruler, then I'd be really good at picking up on, I am really good at picking up on where people's Mars energy is, like where their drive is, where their impetus is, because that's what Mars represents as, what you're driven to do. And that, literally drive, like when you feel like I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do this, that's your Mars. But the energy you feel itself is, Aries, and the energy that sits there for longer and might be like a goal that you don't really like go of necessarily, but you kind of let go into your like subconscious because it's a goal that takes a long time, would be Scorpio. And then, whereas, the Aries is that spark energy when you first feel like getting up to go do it. And then you look at the Taurus rising, saying like they look like they don't have any of that, but it's really because their Aries is being dispersed through them paying attention to everyone else's Aries. So they're like sitting there like, okay, what is this person intending to do? Where is their energy going? Where is this person's energy going? Where is this other person's energy going? But while they're watching where other people's energies are going, it looks like they're not doing anything. But that's what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? So and they're always tracking that, keeping up with it. And then, so really, that's, and then people might end up attacking you, saying like, you need to do this, you need to do that, because they are, they have their goal that they're going after, and they see that you're not just doing that one. So then again, it's dispersed, it's kind of scattered, right? Between, or at least, especially in my case as being viewed as an INTP, where, it seems like, you're kind of all over the place, but it's because you're not going for that one goal, you're tracking the whole overall, like getting all the eggs in a basket, like getting them, all the energy flowing in a way where everyone doesn't bump heads and like get mad at each other. So, and that, because like there's all these different goals going on, so then because you're the one trying to keep everyone from butting heads, then everyone rams into you because you're, I am, trying to be the kind of the direction for that energy. So then I end up having to be the person to grab it and transmute it and, throw it somewhere else. That so you see? So then that's how it becomes that, that's why I'm saying, like, you're really, like, when someone is describing the Aries, like, the person that, knows what to do, with the energy, is the most energetic, is, has these different traits, you're doing that through doing that to other people's, like, Aries energy. Like, you're being the Aries of the Aries. So, like, really, you're the true Aries as a Taurus rising, because you are actually tracking the energy itself and being the person to, direct it with the Virgo 5th house, creatively, like, going somewhere. And then that's why the people with the money that you associate with Taurus can control all of it, because that's what they're doing, is they're directing the flow of energy. They're seeing like what people are doing, sitting back, watching it, and then being strategic about where it goes, because they see what people end up doing with it. So, yeah, there you go. And then, like, I also hit on the point before of, like, with ISTPs are the real, like, extroverted intuitives, because they're the ones that see everything pieces together, and that's how they can build things so easily. And the things that you attribute to, like, the ENTP of, like, being an inventor and things like that, when really the ENTPs and ESTPs are the ones that can feel if it's a situation, because they're the real introverted feelers. They can, like, you know, follow their feelings and end up in a place where there's that kind of stuff going on, because their TI is also their 11th house. So that's their friendships. So they're making friends with people that, you know, ESTPs as well. They're making friends with people that are also like-minded, you know, and being, you know, creating their own systems instead of, like, following one that's already there. So then they happen to be in a location where people are breaking the rules, so to speak. So then that's how they end up looking like rebellious, and they're the one that's being inventive, but really they're figuring out how to hop worlds is what's going on. So, like, you know, take, like, Rick from Rick and Morty. He's following how he feels, and he ends up in all these different crazy situations. That's why that's why it looks like it's effortless for them, because they're following what feels good to them and then they end up there. Same with ESTPs. That's why it looks effortless when, you know, they're doing all these crazy stunts and tricks, is because they figured out how to align themselves into a situation in an area where they could be comfortable, so they wouldn't make a wrong move or be nervous, so they wouldn't feel like doing it. And then because they feel comfortable, then they're able to do all this crazy stuff. See what I'm saying? So, what else? Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on how the second house usually ends up being a place where it seems like people are weak at a lot, because people are usually, like, trying to get more money, you know, things that they value, and it's difficult right now because of how things are set up. So that's usually overall, like, the weakness that people have is in that second house area, but it's also the weakness, but then it's also at the same time, like, the power armor. And I want to talk about how through people's Mars, they all have a different weapon that they're using based on their Mars sign, and how we would create this impetus or motivation to be able to, you know, move forward and be able to give people this drive to be able to, like, look into these things and, you know, learn about themselves, is by, you know, not just using one weapon. We need, you know, every weapon, including, you know, the best weapon of all, which is the one you never have to use. So, you know, to quote, like, you know, Tony Stark's dad or whatever, or was he saying, like, people say the best weapon is the weapon you never have to use? But anyway, he said it in, you know, Iron Man, and, you know, the best weapon you only have to use once, or the weapon you, well, you know, no. The best, I'm telling you, the best weapon that you can use is the one that you never have to use. But because just look at that have to use. You're forced to have to use it. And the whole reason people get irritated and want to use a weapon is because they feel restricted and like they're trying to like break out of it because they want the control or power to not be like imposed on them. So yeah, which would be like the type 8 in the Enneagram deal. But yeah, so let me stop again to make sure it doesn't get deleted.